Two, 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, you guys, welcome to the Monday edition of the Trent Out Loud show. Y'all know already it's not my favorite day of the week, but it makes me feel good and alive to bring you guys quick, up-to-date news that happened over the weekend. So it's a little bit of my silver lining in my Monday. Today, we have 3 breaking stories. The suspect in the Rihanna shooting has been given a $10 million bail package. We'll let you guys know why that is. And she is currently still in jail. Also, Iran warns, not wars, but Iran warns of barrels of oil hitting $200 if Trump does not stop the war. And also, Trump threatens a nuclear war with Iran while seemingly backing down from the war and saying that the war is almost over. We'll get into that. And in today's top stories, Israel strikes oil facilities over the weekend in Iran. Iran has elected a new supreme leader. We have somebody on the ground who is showing you things that are not on legacy media, and people are actually celebrating the new leader. Iran president apologizes over the weekend for bombing countries around in the Gulf area. There are reports that Donald Trump is shocked by the strong response from Iran. The White House does not rule out the draft. China threatens U.S. and Trump. Fox News caught lying, and the UFC and the White House get backlash over the lineup. As always, we're going to go right after that to social discussion of the day. And today's social discussion is Jesse Jackson Jr. calls out Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and Joe Biden for using his father's funeral to talk about Donald Trump. I want to know what you guys think about that. Right after social discussion, as you guys know, we're heading right to the comment section because that's what these lives are mainly about. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, radio, your devices up. Come on, I know it's Monday, but let's go. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. All right. Welcome one, welcome all. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are feeling good. You're in a good mood and things are going well on your end of the world, wherever you may be. All right. Welcome everybody who is streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Kick. Very quick programming note. For those of you who are streaming live on YouTube, we have 2 separate streams on YouTube. You'll see one that has a little iPhone emoji icon, and it says M in brackets. That is the mobile stream. Please only use the mobile stream if you're on a mobile device. It sets it up and makes the show look like Instagram or TikTok. You can use the regular stream that doesn't have the emoji and the M beside it, but you'll have to turn your phone this way. That regular stream, those are for those of you who are at home on your TV or your laptop. If you're at home on your TV or your laptop, please do not use the mobile stream. I'll have 2 black boxes beside me and I'll look this big on your laptop and your TV, okay? Let's jump right into what is going on in the news and the headlines today. For those of you who may have saw a breaking story that we put out yesterday, Sunday night around 10 o'clock, Rihanna's house got shut up, and we told you guys that we would follow up in today's show and let you know. So we have a lot to talk about with Trump and the war, but I wanted to kick things off with Rihanna, okay? The person has been identified. Here she is. Her name is Ivanka Orset Ortiz. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. You know me and names, okay? So this is the picture of her. A couple of things first came out a little bit earlier today, saying that she has been given a $10 million bail because the gun that she chose to use was an AR-15. It was speculated that she potentially, because of the fact that they gave her a $10 million bail, they felt like she was potentially a larger threat than just Rihanna. Now, I have video of her speaking and some social media stuff, and you're going to see, you guys let me know, but this woman does not seem like military, and she does not seem like a larger threat. But because they stopped her outside of a mall. They're thinking that potentially Rihanna was the first stop to get the attention, and then she was gone on to somewhere else. That is a reason why she would be given a $10 million bail. But for me, it just sounds weird. When she was stopped, she had blonde hair with braids. They are suspecting that she might be a domestic threat. She may have had military training. There may have been a second person in the car with her. And they think potentially she had plans to commit more acts and potentially unalive more people. And they potentially think that she was working for somebody that would be able to pay her bail. That is why they made her bail $10 million. Now, these are the reports that are coming out. We told you guys yesterday that I just found everything really weird and really sketchy. Now, here is, what should I play for you first? Let me play the video for you guys so that you guys can get caught up really, and you see her speaking, and you let me know if you think this is a woman that has any sort of like military training or that could be some sort of domestic threat. Take a listen.
So the suspect in the incident that happened outside of Rihanna's home yesterday has been identified as Ivana Ortiz. And shout out to cousin Lauren LaRosa from the Breakfast Club for breaking this story this morning. Now, what's really scary about this is that she had been creating posts and videos about both Rihanna and Cardi B, including this one that she shared on Facebook about Rihanna for months. So let's hear some of the video that she made about Rihanna prior to this incident happening.
You saw Rihanna? You saw her picture? She has a very big forehead and an ugly, ugly nose. That's God's judgment on her. I keep telling her to stop harassing me. To stop harassing me. And she keeps doing it.
Now, according to reports, her and Rihanna have had zero interaction, and she's currently still in the custody of LAPD and is being held on $10 million bond. So I don't think that she's coming out anytime soon. And thankfully, because she clearly was ready to see something through with Rihanna and her family. Now, here's some of the video that she posted a while back about Cardi B.
Fuck with me, Cardi B. You're supposedly busy right now. But you know who has the cutest outfit tonight? You know who's the cutest tonight? I am.
I'm not gonna lie, that is terrifying. But I'm glad that she's not out on the streets anymore and that she wasn't able to harm anybody who she was having these beefs with that wasn't beefing with her and didn't know her. Yikes.
All right. You guys know me and my extensive background when it comes to mental health. And this seems to me like a mental health issue. This is not somebody that has like pictures of Rihanna everywhere and she was so focused on Rihanna, and then she, like, I'm going to do this to Rihanna and then I'm going to go out to the mall and do like a military style something. Some people are even saying this could be tied to like Iran. To me, and I have up here, this is from her YouTube channel. It says also cancel Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner, Khloe Kardashian, Mariah Carey, etc. She also has videos of her rapping. This to me sounds like an entertainment fan that clearly has mental health issues. And I guess she just focused on Rihanna. Again, to me, this doesn't seem like a terrorist cell attached, somebody that she's working for at all. To me, okay, that's just my 2 cents. I'm also going to show you here Rihanna's house. I'll see here. That is the outside of Rihanna's house. And if you zoom in here, you'll see that these are where the holes are, and there's now tape outside of her fence. These are where the bullet holes were. Now, I'm not 110% sure if these were the holes that they said penetrated the actual house, because there's reports that out of the 7 to 10 shots, there was actually one bullet that went through the home. So things are still very sketchy. The LAPD is not putting out too much. I also did a little follow-up on this today in our quick entertainment news, where I gave you guys some more information about the Tesla being potentially the thing that helped the police locate her. There's a lot of stuff going on. Military, Tesla, pictures, Khloe Kardashian. This just sounds like an entertainment thing to me, all right? But we'll follow up. That is the latest. All right, let's now go over to the war, which of course everyone's talking about. And this is a video, not in English, but I wanted to play it to you guys from the source, and it has been translated to Iran warning the US and Donald Trump, if they do not stop playing around, they are going to take measures to make sure that oil goes up to $200 a barrel. Now, I don't know how many of you out there are locked into the stock market, but has taken a big tumble. Maybe it may have recovered later on in the day, but I saw it today in the morning while I was working out, and that's what everybody was talking about. This is the biggest oil surge in history of the world, okay? Oil has never been affected this much. Listen to what Iran has to say.
کشورهای اسلامی انتظار می‌رود هرچه سریعتر آمریکای جنایتکار و رژیم دولت‌های کشورهای اسلامی انتظار می‌رود هرچه سریعتر آمریکای جنایتکار و رژیم وحشی صهیونیستی را از چنین اقدامات بزدلانه ضد بشری برحذر دارند تا شعله‌های آتش و جنگ بیش از این گسترش نیابد. در غیر این صورت اقدامات مشابهی در منطقه صورت خواهد گرفت و اگر تحمل نفت بیش از بشکه‌ای $200 را دارید این بازی را ادامه دهید.
All right, now I don't know how many of y'all speak Iranian out there, but he ain't playing around. And I wanted to play that for you guys. I know most of the people who are watching are English, but you hear the conviction in his voice, and you see when he does this, they are not playing around. The entire week last week, every day we spoke about Iran. Every day I played for you guys videos and chatter that's going on in Iran that is not being played on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. The Iranians are not going to win the actually attack war, but what they could do is that they could wait this out longer than Donald Trump can endure, because he has the Senate, the House, the American people, and the stock market to worry about. We explained to you guys yesterday that Iran is literally throwing up $10,000 missiles. They're equivalent to Molotov cocktail, whatever, y'all know what I'm talking about, that fly in the air. That will cost them $10,000. Israel and the US are spending close to $1 million to take out each of their missiles that only cost $10,000. You do the math. It's costing close to $1 billion a day for the Americans to fight this war. And with Iran being able to take measures to cut off the oil tankers from coming in and out, this is the beginning of the oil surge. And they're literally willing to continue to take this up to $200 a barrel so that Donald Trump feels so much pressure that he has no choice but to back out. Now, having said that, we have another video for you. Well, Donald Trump today has made two separate statements. One, where he kind of seemingly is threatening nuclear war, but then on the other hand, he's actually giving himself a back door and trying to get out of the war in Iran. Listen to this. This one, we're going to play the nuclear threat. All right, take a listen to this.
According to recent reports, the United States has deployed doomsday planes to the Middle East alongside several nuclear-capable bombers. First up, we have the E6B Mercury, which is known as the Doomsday Plane. It was tracked flying towards the Middle East on March 4th, 2026. This aircraft is designed to maintain command and control over nuclear forces, submarines, and intercontinental ballistic missiles during a national emergency or nuclear escalation. We've also deployed the E4B Nightwatch, another doomsday platform used as a mobile command center for top officials. These planes are shielded against electromagnetic pulses from nuclear blasts. We've also deployed the nuclear-capable B-52H Stratofortress, a pair of B-52H bombers which carry both conventional and nuclear weapons, recently conducted a multinational patrol mission across the Middle East to deter regional aggression. Now, of course, the deployment of aircraft like these doesn't automatically mean that nukes are going to be used. However, it does mean we are actively preparing for the worst case scenario. But when you combine this with reports from senators that Trump jumped into this conflict unprepared and doesn't have a way out, it becomes extremely eerie. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Trump does decide to nuke Iran just to protect his own ego.
We know that Trump loves his ego. But like I said, here's the flip side. Listen to reports of Trump saying, hey, we're almost at the end of this war. We're almost ready to back down. Not sorry, he didn't use the word back down. Let me be fair. We think that he's backing down, but the war is going great. Everything is fine. We're almost at the end. We've accomplished everything that we need to accomplish. What have you accomplished, sir? Listen to the reports.
News right now, Donald Trump is now claiming to CBS News that the war in Iran is, quote, pretty much complete, seemingly trying to take some kind of off-ramp here and declare victory in a way. But in the same interview, he also said that he is considering taking over the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil passes through, and that if Iran tries anything, quote, cute, it'll be the end of their country. That's what he said. I think what's happening here, and Donald Trump is speaking in a couple hours at a press conference, which I expect him to try to take an off-ramp here in this war, is that he's realizing he stepped into a bigger mess than he realized. He realized that he's stepping into a situation where Iran has essentially a stronger response than he thought. But what's going to end up happening is if Trump really does kind of try to declare victory here, you're going to have a more hardline leader in Iran, in the Ayatollah son. Nothing's really going to have changed except the fact that you just bombed throughout your country. And ultimately, the Iranian people are still suffering. So we'll see what happens, spread the word, but Trump is now trying to say that it's almost partially pretty much complete.
All right. So that is the breaking news for today, okay? Now I'm going to go into today's top stories, but I'm also going to go back through the weekend and just break down to how we got here. Israel strikes oil facilities in Iran. I'm going to play you a video of how people in Iran reacted to the new supreme leader. Then also the president of Iran apologizes for the bombing. And then we're going to play a few reports that Trump seemingly kind of admitted that he was a little shocked of how strong Iran's response has been. I think regardless of whatever side you're on, and just to be very clear, I'm not on anybody's side here. I'm just here to talk about the facts and give you guys the receipts. I don't have an opinion here. But I don't think anybody could deny that Iran has a very, very good strategy. Let's throw up very, very cheap missiles. Let's have them spend a lot of money. Let's shut down the Strait of Hormuz so that the oil tankers can't get through. Let's ruin the American stock market. Let's have the prices of barrels of oil go up past 100. Let everybody look at Donald Trump and force him to make a decision, and then they come out with a video that says, yeah, you think we're done? Yeah, we're going to continue going to make it $200 a barrel. Plus, last week they showed you and told of the fact that Russia is helping, China might be helping, and the fact that they haven't even started using their good missiles. They're still just playing with the dummy missiles to cost America $1 billion a day to shoot down nothing. And even though they were crappy missiles, some of them were getting through. Trump was not ready for this. He was not prepared. Iran said that they were planning for this for the past 20 years. And I make the example of David versus Goliath. When you're the small guy and you're going up against somebody mighty, you start thinking in ways that are completely different from somebody who's mighty that says, oh, we just have a bunch of bombs. We'll just drop bombs on everybody. Again, I'm not for Iran. I'm just telling you that their strategy is definitely working. Let's go to today's top stories right now. All right, let's take you back over the weekend on how all of this started, how all of these oil stuff got started. Take a look at this. Now, this is Iran. Look at the oil. They're striking in Iran.
نابود کرد. این داره خودش میزنه. دیگه یکی که منبعهای نفت دارن.
Look at the streets. Just imagine these being highways in America. Okay, just wanted to show you that. That is Israel bombing Iran. Now look at the streets of Iran after they announced that there was a new supreme leader. And after this video, after you see people in the streets, there's going to be somebody that breaks down how much worse this new supreme leader is. He's the son of the supreme leader that Donald Trump took out. And that's been my whole thing in this, since this war. Like, what is the reason for this war? Is it to change the regime? Because I've said since the beginning, you're going to take out one, you're going to replace them with another. You take out another, you're going to replace them with another. It's the same thing with Christine Ohm, head of DHS. You take her out, you're just going to replace her with somebody. So, and most of the times, you always replace them with somebody worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So why are we taking out this leader? And his son is there, and you're going to hear in the video. Just imagine how the son feels. Donald Trump last week took out his dad, his mom, his wife, and I think either his daughter or his sister he lost. And now he's the new supreme leader of Iran. How do you think he feels about the US? Listen to this.
Hi, everyone. I'm here live from the streets of Tehran. It's 3 a.m. right now, and people have just heard of the news of the new supreme leader being elected. And I'm just going to show you the views from the streets of Tehran. Make sure to send this to Trump and his dirty, filthy media. So this is just a normal random street from Tehran. I'm not making this up. It's 8th March, 3 a.m. in the morning. People are out here, and you can look at the crowd here, absolute massive crowd. Trump said that Iranians want to come out against the regime, and you see the protesters of the regime and all of these regime propagandists who have come out at 3 a.m. in the morning celebrating the election of Ayatollah Mustafa Khamenei as their supreme leader. We see it's not like all of these are religious people. Western media would tell you these are religious people. Just look at these modern women who are standing here. They're not religious people. They're just random normal people. And make sure to send this to all of this dirty Western media that is showing you absolute bullshit day and night. And people like us get labeled as regime propagandists. And I don't know what to say. I haven't forced these people to come out. They've just come out and so Trump, you wanted Mustafa Khamenei not to be elected, but Iranians have responded and instead they've elected him.
We have some news right now. Iran has selected a new leader, the Ayatollah's son, and he's even more of a hardliner than the Ayatollah was. And well, he doesn't like the United States even more because the United States actually just killed his wife. Here's everything you need to know about the new Iranian leader, who may not be in the position that long, according to Trump, because Trump says that the United States may go after any new Iranian leader. The Ayatollah's son, he's more hardline than the father. He's the candidate of the IRGC, which is the Revolutionary Guard, the military. He's pretty young, 56 years old. His father was 86 years old. He avoids the public. He's trusted by his father and the clerics. He was in the military during the Iraq-Iran war. And his wife was killed in an Israeli airstrike that also killed his father. So you have a more hardline leader in Iran now, be it for a few days, a few weeks, or years. A younger leader, and one who really doesn't like the United States or Israel for a number of reasons, but mainly because they just killed his wife. Spread the word.
Regime change. The new leader, you just took out his entire immediate family. Just let that sink in. If nothing else sinks in today from this show, just think about that. Just think about how he feels and what he is going to plan to do to the US. Do you think he's going to sit down and negotiate with Donald Trump? This is crazy. Okay. Other important things that happened over the weekend. The Iranian president apologized. Now, I had to fact check this because I'm like, what? This is showing you how there is different ideas coming out of Iran. And that's what I really like to try to show you guys here, where you see some Persians that are like, yes, thank you, Donald Trump. Amazing. Thank you for everything that you're doing. But then there's other people that like this regime that we just showed you videos where they're celebrating in the street. Like, thank you, new supreme leader. We want you to go and you take out Trump. So there's different pulls that is going on. And here is the president saying, we're apologizing to the countries around the Gulf for bombing them. Listen to this.
Breaking news, Trump just said, quote, "Tonight Iran will be hit very hard, harder than ever before." And you need to know what Iran has done for the US to say this. Well, today the Iranian president announced that Iran is sorry for bombing their neighbors in the Middle East. Whether it's the UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, etc., Iran is sorry and they're no longer going to continue doing this. Now, we can only imagine that Iran has done this because they no longer want the US to continue bombing them. And the US probably realized this. And so Trump today said, quote, "For the first time in thousands of years, Iran has lost." And he also said, quote, "Iran is no longer the bully of the Middle East. They are instead the loser of the Middle East." Now, you need to know that it seems Trump actually is not going to accept Iran's apology. And they don't care that Iran is going to stop bombing these other countries in the Middle East. And so Trump is going to continue the attacks on Iran, and he's going to level up the attacks on Iran. And it seems it's only going to get worse now that Iran has somewhat surrendered, I guess.
Israel has been hit really hard this past hour. There's been 4 waves of ballistic missiles from Iran to Israel the past hour, and this included the uninterceptable cluster warheads. Major areas of Tel Aviv are without power, and there are tons of injuries. Also, Israeli authorities have shut down the internet in areas of Tel Aviv to avoid any damage videos getting out. There's been well over 60 direct hits in the past hour. Also, the American 5th Fleet in Bahrain is on fire. The video of the Iron Dome, watch this one right here. It doesn't intercept a single rocket. Count this. This is what, 6 Iron Dome interceptors, and a ballistic missile right above just comes right through them. I don't know if I'm believing the odds anymore that 95% of them are being intercepted. We can watch this ballistic, not even a cluster warhead, make its way down. Wasn't even trying to get intercepted, and it's going to have a direct hit. The censorship out of Israel right now, specifically Tel Aviv, is insane. They're threatening jail time. They're putting cell jammers. They're literally intercepting videos as people are trying to send them to each other.
All right. Here is some information, okay? Israel launched missiles and drone strikes across several Gulf countries, including Saudi Arabia, EAU, Bahrain, Qatar, and Kuwait, mainly targeting U.S. bases and infrastructure in those countries. After the attacks caused damages and angered the region, Iran president publicly apologized to neighboring Gulf states on the television. He said something along the lines of, he personally apologizes to neighborhood countries affected by Iran's action. He claimed the strikes happened because Iran commanders had been unalived earlier by the U.S. Israeli strikes and leaving forces without true leadership. He announced that Iran's military should stop attacking neighborhood countries unless those countries attack Iran first. Hardliners inside Iran criticized the apology, and shortly after the government issued a statement, suggested that Iran did not attack friendly neighboring countries. At the same time, missiles and drone strikes reportedly continued in the Gulf, raising questions about who is really in control of Iran's military response. So, yes, the Iran president did apologize to the Gulf countries, but the apology was partly walked back and the firing hasn't stopped. So nothing has been resolved. It's a complete mess on both sides. Now, I want to play a video for you of their reports of Trump sort of admitting that he didn't know that Iran was going to have such a strong response. And now we were talking about this all last week, and a couple of you guys in the comment section were like, yo, you're backing Iran, and if you don't love America, then this or whatever. Here is reports that even Donald Trump himself admits that he was surprised of the Iran response. Take a listen.
Learn that Donald Trump and the people around him have been shocked at how strongly Iran has responded in the war, despite Donald Trump saying that it's going perfectly. While discussing the tragic 7th American death in this war, the New York Times reported that for the United States, the grim toll in the first week of the war signaled that Iran was more prepared for war than the Trump administration anticipated, according to U.S. military officials. Iran has continued to put up a fight even after its supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, and other top officials were killed. In the past, Iran has given warning before launching retaliatory strikes and made known which bases housing U.S. troops it intended to hit, but since the start of the war, its strikes have been widespread and less predictable. We also know that this is the case because Donald Trump and the people around him have said that there will be more casualties. So it seems like the Trump administration went into this war completely unprepared, which makes me so furious for the brave men and women who are currently serving in the Middle East. Their lives are at risk, and also for their families who are waking up every single day anxious. They thought that they could just go in, take out the Ayatollah, and that would be it. And clearly it is not.
I know like a lot of you don't like Harry, or a lot of you like Underraid or MAGA because Trump doesn't like him. But this is something that's just not opinion based. This is something that's facts. Okay. So I wanted to play that for you. Now, here's another fact that was pretty alarming to a lot of people over the weekend. And Caroline Leavitt was on Fox News and she was asked about mothers and fathers worrying if their children are going to be sent off to war. And listen to what Caroline Leavitt had to say.
We have some major Iran war updates. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, says the president is not ruling out a military draft.
Mothers out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as commander-in-chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. It's not part of the current plan right now, but the president, again, wisely...
It's not part of the current plan, but the president keeps his options on the table, including a possibility of a military-style draft. Meanwhile, according to Axios, the U.S. government was dismayed at the fact that Israel launched such significant strikes on oil infrastructure across Iran over the past 24 hours, saying that it may help essentially strengthen support for the Iranian regime among the Iranian people. And finally, today, Donald Trump spent the afternoon on a golf course drawing criticism for golfing while America's at war. More updates coming soon.
All right. I didn't play you guys video of that, but yes, Donald Trump is getting backlash for playing golf on Sunday. So do you guys see the picture that I'm painting? The war is almost over. We're sending over planes that have nuclear codes. We're not going to rule out boots on the ground. We'll go as far as we need to go. We're gonna take over the Strait of Hormuz. The Trump administration, it seems to me, anyways, does not have a coherent plan. And I understand we're not going to tell the media the plan because that will be indirectly telling Iran the plan. But there should be some sort of consistency, and that seems to me like what's missing, if you ask me, in my opinion. Donald Trump saying he wants to be included in picking the new supreme leader. So is this the plan, to take out the supreme leader, and then they expect the Iranian people to say, Mr. Trump, could this be our supreme leader? And if they don't, you're just going to keep on unaliving them? It's just going to keep on going? But you said it was going to be 4 to 5 weeks. So because now you got to attack this new guy that just got appointed in. Right? And then they're going to just keep on appointing more people. So when does that end? And they have endless amounts of people that here's our new supreme leader. They're not going to ask Donald Trump's permission on who to give the supreme leader to. So just with the supreme leader conversation, I would just want to know from you guys, how does this war end? I don't know. Okay. I want to play for you guys a really scary video. I don't mean to, but it's just the truth. Look at what China put out and what they have to say about them and war.
To have war, you will get war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed. If you want to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. China's policy is very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. If you have not watched the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd, one of the weapons China demonstrated, a missile with all the warheads, we call it 61, because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads plus 1 hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has hydrogen bomb? China is the only country with hydrogen bomb. And that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted.
And it can cover any corner of the world. It cannot be intercepted, and they're the only ones with a hydrogen bomb. And they're seemingly backing Iran so that Iran will let the oil ships pass through the Strait of Hormuz to China. I just want to know, like, where does Donald Trump seem like he could win in this? I just don't understand. Again, I do not want him to lose at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just posing the question. Iran said they're not going to back down. They said they don't want a ceasefire. They said when they're trying to negotiate, Donald Trump attacked them. They said they're not even close to launching their real missiles. They're still going to just throw up the crappy ones. Russia said that they'll help them with letting them know where the U.S. ships are and some intelligence. China said that they'll help support them with missiles. Oil has surged more this past day than it ever has in history. And Iran said that they will keep on going till it's $200 a barrel. Now you see why Trump said today, I think the war might be over. I think we may have done everything we need to do. What did you do? You took out the supreme leader, is replaced with his son, who's crazier than him, and now has a vendetta because you took out all his immediate family. Like, I would love to come on here and be like, hey, the Trump administration did this. They successfully did this. Look at this. I just can't find it. And please, if somebody, I'm coming to the comment section soon. Please tell me where the pluses are. Like, it started out as a plus. They took away the supreme leader. But okay, I haven't seen a win since that. U.S. embassies in the Gulf areas have been hit. Dubai has been hit. Places in Israel has been hit. I just want to know. And this supreme leader has been alive for 48 hours. Donald Trump said, if you guys don't talk to me or ask me, he's out. So he's already winning. And you think he's just going to be out in the street chilling? He probably is in the deepest bunker somewhere, and you're never going to touch him. I just want to know where the win is. And then while all this is going on, Trump was golfing yesterday. Just FYI. And not only was he just golfing, but he actually got caught when the 6 soldiers that were unalive came back. He was caught wearing a campaign hat. So these are 2 things that Donald Trump did really bad this weekend. Now, Fox News tried to cover it up for him, but they also got caught and they had to admit that they were lying. So wearing a campaign hat when 6-year-old soldiers are coming home, and he's out golfing. Listen to this.
News just admitted to playing an old clip of Donald Trump at a dignified transfer last year and claiming that it was from yesterday. And the reason they did this was because Donald Trump wore a campaign hat to a dignified transfer to honor the 6 soldiers who lost their lives in a war that he started. Here's what Fox News aired this morning, claiming it was from yesterday. As you can tell, this is from 2025 and he is not wearing a baseball hat. But look at them apologize and pretend like it was all just some big misunderstanding.
Before we move on, we want to acknowledge a mistake made earlier on our program. During our coverage of yesterday's dignified transfer, we inadvertently aired video from an older dignified transfer instead of the ceremony that took place yesterday.
It's really hard for me to believe this was some innocent mistake, because if you look up Trump at dignified transfer, the only images that come up are from yesterday, meaning you would have to go out of your way to find images from a previous one that is less relevant at this time. Given the fact that Donald Trump is receiving a lot of criticism right now for wearing a campaign hat during an event to honor our fallen troops that lost their lives because of him, by the way, and that Fox News relentlessly covers for him all the time, I think that's exactly what they did. I think they went out of their way to find old footage from a previous dignified transfer to mislead their viewers.
Yo, Fox is never going to learn their lesson. Remember they had to pay out, what was it, $1.2 billion, had to fire Tucker Carlson. But, Trump, he's our man. So whatever it takes. All right, one last thing I just want to show you guys in closing that has something to do with the White House. This is about the UFC. Now, I'm not a big UFC guy, so you guys let me know in the comment section if this is something that, is a big deal to UFC fans. Jon Jones and Conor McGregor upset with Dana White after being left off UFC White House card. So for those of you who don't know, the White House, of course, is going to be celebrating 250 years of independence. Trump said he's going to have the biggest celebration ever of all times. And part of that is going to be the UFC. Now, everybody has said, oh my gosh, who's going to be on the card? Who's going to be on the card? And they released a card over the weekend and like nobody cared. Jon Jones and Conor McGregor upset at Dana White after being left off the UFC White House card. The UFC Freedom Fight 2050 event set for June 14, 2026 at the White House South Lawn will celebrate America's 250th anniversary, was finally revealed during UFC 326. Featuring in the lineup was blah, 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 blah. Despite months of hype and both fighters publicly campaigning for spots, Jones pushing for a clash with and McGregor eyeing his return with another fighter, Dana White confirmed neither made the cut, blatantly stating that Jones was never ever considered and eventually called his career over, while noting McGregor's return is now targeted for International Fight Week in July. This snub has sparked backlash from the stars and fans alike, with Jones firing back at White's comments and McGregor calling the shift heartbreaking, leaving many to question if the promotion missed a chance to maximize the star power for what was billed as potentially the largest card ever. Again, I'm not a UFC fan, but I know Jon Jones and I know Conor McGregor, and they are huge in UFC. If you're going to be at the White House and you're going to be celebrating 250-year anniversary, why wouldn't you have names that like somebody like me knows? I just find it a little bit weird. Anyways, let's go over into social discussion. I really, really want to talk about what's going on with Jesse Jackson. He is calling out Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and Joe Biden for using his father's funeral for their political views. Let's go over to social discussion right now. All right. Before we start social discussion, I just want to remind you guys that we have quick news posted up on our page. We have midday quick news, and in midday quick news, we talked about Doja Cat defending opera and the ballet, Lori Harvey having a generational walk, Neo's baby mama hanging out with his 2 girlfriends, Offset spending time with his 6 kids, 50 Cent refusing to beef with Papoose, Little Durk hires Young Thug's lawyer Brian Steele, Glorilla's sister is beefing with Gloss-Up, Dwight Howard outside and unbothered, Tasha K starts a GoFundMe to pay back Cardi B. We have a Rihanna update, and Dak Prescott and his fiance call it quits. Make sure you guys check that out. Also, before we start social discussion, I just want to remind you guys that tomorrow is episode 700. I really, really hope that you guys do not miss that episode, because we have an important announcement. We are making changes to the channel. If you guys see here from this thumbnail, you could see already there's a little change to the thumbnail. This is not our traditional thumbnail that we use for the show. So this was kind of just a lead in. We're still going to be here daily, but we're just going to do more things, and we're going to do things different. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, episode 700. I mean, we're congratulating ourselves, like, you know, how we do, air horns. Shout out to the Trent Loud Show to make it to episode 700. But make sure you tune in tomorrow. We have some important show updates, okay? Let me play this clip for you from Jesse Jackson Jr., and then we'll discuss it. Take a listen.
Listened for several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson. He maintained a tense relationship with the political order, not because the presidents were white or black, but the demands of our message demanded not Democratic or Republican solutions, but demanded a consistent, prophetic voice that at no point in time ever sold us out as a people.
Shout out to Jesse Jackson. All right. Also, Jesse Jackson Jr. also argued that some of the remarks shifted the focus away from honoring his father's life and instead became a moment to criticize current President Donald Trump. He says, and I quote, "They used my father's funeral to take shots at President Trump," Jackson Jr. said, expressing frustration over the political tone of their speeches. He went on to describe his father as somebody who was transcending party lines. "My father wasn't a Democrat or Republican. He was prophetic," he said, emphasizing that the civil rights leader influence went beyond traditional political labels. The comment has sparked debate online as people continue discussing the memorial and the lasting impact Jesse Jackson had decades long with his civil rights movement. Now, I ask you guys, do you think that it is right that Bill, who did he say? It was Bill. Sorry, I forgot again. Was it Bill? I just want to make sure I'm not misquoting here. Bill Obama and who else? Sorry, guys. Who else did he just say? I have it here in my notes. Bill. Yeah, here you go. Joe Biden, Bill, and Barack. Now, I remember at Charlie Kirk's memorial when Donald Trump turned things political and people went crazy. I particularly said that I thought it was very distasteful. We understand you're the president, but if you're there for Charlie Kirk, you should stick on brand and sit on topic. You're supposed to talk about Charlie, you're supposed to memorialize him, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll feel the same way. I feel the same way about Bill, Biden, and Barack. Now, I don't think that I only saw Barack's, so I can't speak about Bill or Joe, but I will say that I think Barack Obama's, like, he didn't really, from what I saw, he didn't call out Trump and make it overly political, but he just said, you wake up every morning to another crazy topic. You wake up, like, he just was showing you that, like, how America is right now under the current administration. But then he tied it very back into Jesse Jackson and said, this is not what Jesse would have wanted. So it wasn't like, hey, y'all, I'm here to speak about Jesse Jackson. And by the way, I don't like Trump and Trump this and the war, and we should not do this in Congress, whatever. He just was using it as, hey, this is the where we are now, and this is not what Jesse was fighting for. This is not what Jesse wanted. You could argue that he was trying to be slick, but I feel like as long as you are bringing the parallels back and highlighting your father, then I would think that it was okay. But who am I to tell Jesse Jackson Jr. how to feel, right? All right, that is today's social discussion. I cannot wait to the comment section. By the way, this is the most comments we've ever had by far. There's no way I can get to everyone, but I'm going over there right now so we can discuss more. Wow, this is the most views we've ever had, the most at one time, the most comments. Like, this is crazy. What is going on over here, y'all? All right, I can't even keep up. It's just coming in like crazy. I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll just jump in, man. He told them to not bring up politics. They hate Obama a lot. Okay. I didn't know that. Derek says, now you are defending Democrats' trend. It's Derek, you're starting right away? Well, how do they defend? Let me read the rest. It's different from Charlie Kirk. The son made it clear a day before the funeral that he didn't want anything political. Why can't they respect the family's views? Now, did I defend? I said, for like, this is what I don't like about you, Derek. You need to listen to my words. I didn't defend. I said, for me, my opinion, Trent, because I'm allowed to have an opinion. I said, for me, if I say, yo, don't talk about politics, whatever, and I didn't even know that he said don't talk about politics, but if you say don't talk about politics, and I'm saying my opinion, if you're like, hey, the day and age that we're in right now when things are going on, we're waking up to chaos, that is not what Jesse Jackson would have wanted, I would be okay with that, because you're not coming and saying Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that, Donald Trump this. And then I ended it off by saying, but I can't tell Jesse Jackson how to feel. I can tell you how I would feel. I would be okay with that. Now, I don't know what Bill and Joe said. If they called him out by name, then of course I would condemn that. So it's easy, bro. I'm not defending nobody, all right? And always, thanks for your comment. V, sir, if I'm pronouncing your name right, says, Nick's wife left him a long time ago for being registered SO. Not too sure who Nick's is. Nick's got caught in the tunnel with a, not sure who's Nick. Who are we talking about, Nick? Why are you here? Oh, you're talking about somebody in the comment section. Shouldn't you be playing? Okay, this is you guys are just talking to each other. Okay. I understand his feelings, but his dad was a politician, a civil rights defender. That's what Carl said. Hey, I agree with that comment too, Carl. Okay, I'm not going to get into Nick and them's conversation. Nobody asked Trump not to be political. Jesse's son asked them not to bring up political shenanigans. As usual, Dems don't care about the people. All right, facts. That's again, like I said, is regardless about Charlie Kirk or not, if his wife or his parents or whatever had Trump do whatever he wanted to do or say whatever he wanted to say, Trent, I'm allowed to have my own opinion. I didn't like that Trump did that. I didn't like the tone. I feel like he, of course, did talk about Charlie, but I feel like he talked about himself, and I feel like he brought it too political. My opinion. Now, if Charlie's wife, if Erica's like, I'm cool with that, okay, cool. And yes, 110%. If Jesse Jackson Jr. is like, yo, don't bring nothing political here, of course you cannot. And of course I will condemn them if I hear them saying if I heard them saying anything about Donald Trump or anything political. But like I said, I'm pretty sure I heard all of Barack Obama's speech. And I never heard him say anything about Trump. I didn't hear him say political. He said, we're waking up every day in the morning in the US to chaos, and that's not what Jesse wanted. You going to get offended by that, be my guest. Can everybody hit that like button? Thank you, baby K. Hit that like button. Bam, 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 bam. Let's see here. Let's see anybody else here going on. You guys are just like fighting and arguing with each other, so I ain't gonna get into that. Anybody else? Here we go. At Trent Out Loud. Jack says, Trent Out Loud, you should full on time out and report Vay. I have a screenshot of him endorsing. Okay, I don't know what you have going on there. Mars says, Derek, you really need to chill out with what side Trent is on. Like, who cares really? Like, I just don't understand, Derek. Like, and I just wish you would listen to my words. That's all I would wish. Obama had to say what he said. Sorry, Obama had to say what he did. Sorry. Okay. Vay says, if you support the... No, I'm not going to read that. Hey, Crystal's in the building. Crystal said, hey, Derek. Here we go. Derek says, you bring up Charlie Kirk and Trump while talking about the Dem is classic whitewashing, and you know it with your experience. How is that whitewashing? Derek, I love you here and I love your comment, but yo, you have to stop telling people what they're thinking and what they're doing, bro. Like, you do this with Mars, you do this with Crystal, and you do this with me. I literally just brought up another time where another politician was talking at memorial service. Really simple. And the last political memorial service was Charlie Kirk. And you could even argue the fact that he's not really political, but he is kind of like how Jesse Jackson was, because Jesse Jackson was never nominated as a senator or as a senator or a governor or a president. So they're kind of alike, actually, now that I think about it. There's somebody that was in the political realm that spoke to politicians about trying to make America better. So Charlie Kirk and Jesse Jackson are sort of similar in their own right. And all I was saying is that Trump, I don't like him bringing up political issues. So I could say that I would agree if anybody would do that at Jesse Jackson's. That's not whitewashing. It's not doing anything. And it's something that I had said before. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like, and you know me, I'm really down to have discussions, but like it's having a discussion, telling me what I'm thinking and telling people who are independent what I'm thinking. It's like you telling me, oh, you're a Democrat, you're not really an independent, or you're really this, or you're really that. That's not going to be productive in any way. Have a discussion with me instead of telling me what I'm thinking, because I am straight up in knowing what I am thinking, and I tell you every day. Derek said hi to Crystal. Jess has openly admitted that Dems are... Okay, this is crazy. I can't take the dem comment, this comment. Mars, I bet you would care if Trent was pro-Trump. Lord. Mars, maybe we should start calling Derek a liberal. That is just as incorrect as calling Trent a Democrat. Yeah, let's just do that. Hey, everybody, welcome to Derek, our friend Derek, our Out Louder Derek. He's a liberal. He actually really, really loves Kamala Harris. He won't admit it to you in the chat, but he really loves Kamala and he really loves Joe Biden. Yep, he does. We'll just start saying that about you, Derek. Armchair says, I think everybody processes differently, but I'm sure some top level people, possibly Trump included, that knows when people are getting 86th by a foreign ally. Bruh, just talk. Don't read, please. Okay. Yeah, very jealous to be hated by the entire world. This is Vay having something. Mercury says Derek versus Trent. Derek, I hate arguing with you about stupid stuff, man. Charlie was unalived in broad daylight, and that was political, which is unique. Okay, but what does that have to do with anything? We're talking about presidents sitting or ex-presidents talking at a memorial. That's the conversation, Derek. Donald Trump is a sitting president. Barack Obama is a past president, just like Joe and Bill. I don't think any of them, either four of them, should be going to memorial to memorialize whoever it is and speak about anything political. Why is this a problem? Why is this a problem for me to say that? This is what I think. You could think whatever you want. And while I was talking about the subject, I said, who am I to tell Jesse Jackson how he should feel? Meaning, Mars could feel how she wants to feel. Crystal should feel how she wants to feel. I can feel how I feel, and so can you. Why do you feel the need to tell us and break down and, yo, Charlie was this? Yo, it's somebody that's not here, and it's somebody that was memorialized, and I don't think anybody should talk about politics. And again, if Barack Obama says we wake up in a chaotic world and that's not what Jesse wanted, I understand that it could be subliminally attacking Donald Trump, but we wake up every day in a chaotic world. We're at war. And he's saying that's not what Jesse would want. So I'm saying for me, if that was my dad, I would be like, okay, he hinted on it, but yo, he didn't say anything about Trump. He didn't say anything political. I would let that slide. For me, maybe you wouldn't. Maybe Mars would be like, I think that's too much. But could we have our opinions here? Jeez. Love you though, bro. Nobody is hated, but okay. What's going on in here? Let's see. What's going on? Trump even. How about, you know what, Derek? How about we shift the conversation to Donald Trump showing up to those 6 soldiers who came home with a campaign hat on. So embarrassing that Fox News had to pull up an old clip from another I can't remember what they call it, and for them to make Donald Trump look good. How about that, Derek? Well, how about we talk about that? Do I still have it, or is it still in here? Leaders say sorry. Draft. Where is it? What number is it? Hold on. Number 11. Oh, here we go. Let's listen to this again. Let's discuss this. Let's bring
Fox News just admitted to playing an old clip of Donald Trump at a dignified transfer last year.
Yeah, dignified transfer. That's the word I was looking for. Let's let this be the discussion, Derek.
And claiming that it was from yesterday. And the reason they did this was because Donald Trump wore a campaign hat to a dignified transfer to honor the 6 soldiers who lost their lives in a war that he started. Here's what Fox News aired this morning, claiming it was from yesterday. As you can tell, this is from 2025, and he is not wearing a baseball hat. But look at them apologize and pretend like it was all just some big misunderstanding.
Before we move on, we want to acknowledge a mistake made earlier on our program. During our coverage of yesterday's dignified transfer, we inadvertently aired video from an older dignified transfer instead of the ceremony that took place yesterday.
It's really hard for me to believe this was some innocent mistake, because if you look up Trump at dignified transfer, the only images that come up are from yesterday, meaning you would have to go out of your way to find images from a previous one that is less relevant at this time. Given the fact that Donald Trump is receiving a lot of criticism right now for wearing a campaign hat, during an event to honor our fallen troops that lost their lives because of him, by the way, and that Fox News relentlessly covers for him all the time, I think that's exactly what they did. I think they went out of their way to find old footage from a previous dignified transfer to mislead their viewers.
So, Trump showed up at a dignified transfer with a campaign hat on. What do you think about that, Derek? Well, actually, you know what? Derek is probably he's probably upset at that because he is a Democrat, and his favorite president, Joe Biden, would never do anything like that. Right, Derek? Let me see. Derek says, yes, it's fair to critique Trump for wearing a hat. That's not cool, but Trump administration is very dignified when it comes to the treatment of, here we go. See? Oh, Trump, yes, it could critique it, but no, there's no but. What he did was disgusting. And then he went out golfing after, bro. It was horrible. Horrible. Mars says, Derek, they didn't want politics at the funeral, okay? But I think his father was a freedom fighter and for equality, so he may not be mad at that on the other side. Hey, you can't tell somebody how to feel, man. I can't tell Jesse Jackson's son how to feel. Mars might have felt another way. I might have felt another way, but that's his dad. And if you say to those three past presidents, yo, don't bring up anything political or you're not welcome here, then I 100% agree with Derek in that sense that if you're coming to my father's funeral and I tell you, do not say this or do not say that, it's up to you to tell me, all right, well, I'm not going to attend. Or if you say, okay, fine, I will listen to your wishes, and you come up and you say something else, then of course I'm going to drag them, president or not president. Okay, everybody calls you racist because you are a racist. Pretty simple. Okay, I think you must be talking to somebody else. Lucky people, they say, okay, let me scroll up. Let me see here. Let me see if there's any. Okay, that was from Mars. I read that already. Somebody says when you lose a debate, you call someone racist. Well, I guess you're not talking to me because I didn't call anyone racist. Okay, I read that one. Let me go up here. Yes, I'm about to leave now. Crystal, you're leaving? Bye, Crystal. As long as something, I don't know. Crystal, how come you're leaving? Is Derek making you upset? Nobody is proving. Okay, I don't want to talk about your guys' kind of arguments. Why would I go to a foreign country? I'm not Jewish. All right, here's the professor said, hey, Crystal, I hope your work. Oh, I hope your work day is ending soon. Okay, Crystal, you're not leaving the chat. You're leaving you're leaving work. All right, I love that. All right, I think we got to pretty much, the family made it clear they didn't want politics at the funeral. Okay, so the way you're stating is Jesse Jackson Jr. is not allowed to have his opinion, or this, I think, more affects by this than you are. What? So the way you're stating it, Jesse Jackson Jr. is not allowed to have his opinion on this. I think he's more affected by this than you are. That's not what I said at all. All right, this is UNV talking. Obama was trying to lead. Okay. All right. I think I got everyone's opinion here. I haven't seen Kim. Kim, if you're in the chat, I hope you're feeling well. Shout out to Kim. Mars says, Derek, using the term whitewashing for a Trump and C. Kirk is hilarious to me because they are like the poster children of white, really, really white, like white. They want to be us so bad. You're hilarious, Mars. Oh, here's Crystal. Tara, thank you. Derek, you are #1 Democrat. Trent is more independent than choosing sides like me. They both have good and both have bad. It's win or lose situation. Totally agree. Thank you. Mystery says, great show again, Trent. Trent, I like the way you explain everything to your followers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. As you guys know, what I love to do, I'd like to just scroll up at the top and see. This is the most comments we've ever gotten. This is crazy. Let me just see who's here in the beginning to shout out. Hey, Kim is in the building with the first comment. Shout out to Kim. Kim said, hello, everybody. Hey, Kim, I'm glad you are doing well. Crystal said, happy Monday, Trent, my fellow Trent Angels and the Out Louders. Wow, wow, wow. I'm glad you were back. Nollins was up in here early. Out Louders, happy Monday. Emily said, Trent, what up? Nollins again. What up, what up, what up, what up? Hey, Natasha was in the building early. What up, Natasha? What up, what up, what up? Nolan says, why would she hit Rihanna? All right. I just like to go up and see who was here early. And here, Mystery, you're an hour early for the international streamers, so you might lose a few of us tonight. I actually had more views than I ever had, but that's because we're at daylight savings time, so that's why I guess it was kind of different. All right. All right. That's it just for the beginning comments. Let me go to my sign out, and then I will come right back. Let me scroll the way down. You guys keep commenting. You want to argue about Trump and the hat. You want to argue about Jesse Jackson, whatever. I will be right back in 2 seconds. Let me just do my sign out, and I'll come back for the last comments. All right. All right. Great show. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you very much for all the comments. The most amount of clicks or views ever on a live. Shout out to y'all and the most comments. Thank you, Derek. I love arguing with you, brother. I love it. I love it. I know you're Out Louder. I know you're here every day. We can argue, and then after we get out the argument, we're still homies. All right. So thank you, and thank you everybody who's on the right, middle, or left. All right. Before I let you go, just want to remind you of a couple of things. One, like I said earlier, for those who may have missed it, make sure you tune in tomorrow, episode 700. We are making some pretty substantial changes to the channel tomorrow. Actually, we'll start on Wednesday, but we'll announce it tomorrow. We'll start on Wednesday. Please make sure you come here. There will be some changes to the channel. That's one thing. Second thing, I just want to remind you guys, a lot of people ask, hey, do you have PayPal? Do you have Venmo? The best way to give back to the show, if you would like to, no pressure, is through Super Chat or Super Thanks. Super Chat while we're on the air, Super Thanks after we post this video. Also, do not forget to sign up for the Out Loud membership. You'll see that above me. And also, do not forget to sign up for Aura. I don't know if this QR code is going to work here now. Hold on. Let me take this off of the screen. Hey, how do I take what's highlighted off the screen? Hey. All right. Well, sorry, I can't take that off the screen. Hope the QR code is still working. Anyways, QR code or link below. Sign up for Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform. If you're ever wondering if any of your personal information has ever leaked online, Aura can show you absolutely free for the next 14 days. It's super cool. You put in your information. It goes out online and says, hey, here's your passport number. Here's your social security number. Here's your address, your phone number, your credit card. Click of a button. It wipes everything off of the internet for you. And then after, if you would like, oops, I left that on my face. After, if you would like, you could continue taking a plan with them, but absolutely free. You could take all your information off online quickly. All right. Link below or the QR code. Also, before I let you go, I just want to remind you the 3 ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud show. The first way is we're available on all podcast platforms. Just go to any site. Make sure you type in Trent Out Loud and the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button. Also, we're available on YouTube. That's my favorite place because I need video. When you head over there, I need you to do 3 things for me. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you see a hype button, make sure you hit that too. It's absolutely free. You only have a certain hypes per week. Make sure you give your favorite YouTube host some, all right? Also, do not forget to comment. I love all the live comments, so don't forget to comment underneath the video. If you don't want to join in our conversation, let me know the country or city that you're watching from. Every night before I go to bed, I check all the comments. I love to see how global this show is. Also, the 4th thing is please try to share the channel. We're trying to grow this channel, so share it with your family, friends, and loved ones. Also, do not forget the Out Loud membership and Super Chats. Now, the 3rd way to keep up with the show is through streaming. We stream weekdays around 5:30, 5:45 on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Kick. We have 2 streams on YouTube. If you're on mobile, use the mobile one. If you're at home, use the regular one without the little M beside it, because then there'll be boxes beside me. All right. Now, those are the 3 ways. For those of you who want to keep up with me outside of the show, I'm available on all social platforms. It's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. I'm the most active on IG. And speaking of IG, make sure you follow the Trent Out Loud show on IG. That is when I'll be able to touch base with you in the morning, afternoon, and night, even on the weekends. We have a lot of fun over there. There's not as many restrictions here on YouTube. And it's just a quick take, keeps you up to date with the news, and we have some laughs. So make sure you follow me over there. All right. Let me come over here for the final comments, final goodbyes. Where is this last comment that I highlighted. I don't even know where I left off. You know what? Let's go from the bottom. Somebody said, Augustine said hi. Somebody says, Jack said freaking autocorrect. Derek said, it's always fun, engaging views. Big up, brother. That's my guy right there, man. Shout out to D. Correct. I am still here. Great. Crystal is still here. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Vay or Vaya says, Nick, whatever makes you sleep, delusional cop. Thanks for granting me the victory. Nick says, okay, this is the people who are having like an argument between each other. Knowledge says, I will come, but I don't even think you know that I was there. I don't even know what that was about. Okay, Nick and somebody else are talking. Okay, this is another conversation. Here we go. Sharon says, Israel gets over $18 billion a year from America. Israel has national health care and life insurance. Israel gives America nothing in return. Ghost says, can we agree that Arabic regions are unfriendly to women and children and want women to be... Okay, why are we talking about these things? Derek said, pop, 700. Kathy says, they were disgusting. Instead of celebrating a great man's life, they used every second to spew decisive rhetoric. I doubt Jesse would approve. Really? I got to go back and watch. Like I said, I saw Brock's. It didn't look bad to me. But we shall see. Nick says you are outnumbered already. No, that's Teve. Okay. All right. Hey, there's my friend Tara. Tara says, great show, Trent. Thank you, Tara. Thank you. Cora says you tried. Okay, this is the argument you guys are having. Mars says, I think you are getting comments in reverse. I made many comments before this. Now, I know, Mars, but we had like just, there's no way. I would be here for 5 hours to go through the comments. And I have to go from the bottom when there's this many comments. I'd be here for the next 5 hours because there's people having arguments with each other and talking with each other. So it's very much for me to siphon through all of this. So I just took these last Jesse one. Derek, please get off your knees. Wake up. Trump is conning everybody. My goodness. Mars, let's not be rude now. You don't have to tell him to get off his knees. Derek, they didn't want politics at the funeral, okay, but I think his father was... I read this already. All right, guys, great show. Amazing show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, apologies for not being able to read these comments, but when they're in the thousands, there's no possible way for me to read through this. And like I said, there's a lot of people that are like fighting and arguing with everybody. Yeah, and it's like I'm looking right now even to see if I could see some other things to talk about. Hold on. Knowledge says it was totally disrespectful what they did to Jesse. Okay, we already have the Jesse thing. I'm trying to find. I wanted really to know what you guys thought about the draft dodging. Let me see. Newsflash: they can't send up their better weapons if there's nothing. All right, yeah. If you guys just want to let me know quickly, like, what do you think about Trump and Caroline Leavitt not ruling out the draft? I thought that was crazy. And what do you guys think about Iran saying that they're not going to stop until barrels of oil are $200? To me, those were like the big takeaways from the show. Also, China threats, but I mean, China threat is always there. But what do you guys think about $200? 200 barrels of oil becoming $200. That is scary, if you ask me. Obviously, Gifted says Trump is a puppet. Y'all some sad clowns who still can't see through the vial of the thief. There you go. That's for you, Derek. Crystal says Trent Kim was in the chat earlier, but she is taking it easy because our queen Kim was in the hospital from Tuesday and got out yesterday. Oh, really? I saw her there at the top where she said, hi. I got her in the beginning. So, wow. DM me and let me know what she was in the hospital for. I hope, well, I guess now that she's out, then I guess she's feeling better. Kim, prayers out to you, Queen. Prayers out to you. I hope you are doing a lot better, and I'm glad you're home and well. Mars says Barack's speech was beautiful and touching. Eat it. But Mars, one thing I would say though, like, totally respect your opinion, but if Jesse Jackson Jr. is saying he didn't appreciate his speech, then are you saying that Jesse Jackson Jr. shouldn't feel the way that he's feeling just because his father was political? Do you not think that Jesse Jackson Jr. has a right to tell these three presidents what to do and what to say at his own father's funeral? Like, again, if you think that Barack should do whatever he wants, that's your opinion. But I don't agree that, like, I don't think if I was his son that Barack's speech would upset me. But if his son is feeling upset, I don't think it's our place to tell him how he could feel or how he can't feel. Just my opinion, especially if I tell you, don't bring up that stuff around me. Obviously says, I'm glad my taxes got some. Okay, I'm not going to read that. Derek says, congrats on 700 is no beans. Let's go 1,000. Thank you, my man, Derek. Trump is trying to make it so none has to claim asylum and be safe in their own country. Well, Trent, I'll say thanks for not banning in the chat like that guy was crying for. I didn't even see what you guys were arguing about, to be honest with you. You guys, my chat is open. Y'all could do whatever you want as long as you're not being like rude. If you want to be rude to each other, then that's fine. But don't talk to the out louders and, you know, the angels. Like, if you two are like know each other and y'all want to do whatever you want, that's fine, man. My comment section is open. Trump is a okay. I'm not going to keep on reading this. Trump is a puppet thing. Anybody have any comments about these $200 barrels? Mars, I'd like to know what your thoughts are about Jesse Jackson. He has no intention on the draft. He's just saying it so that the enemy knows he's dedicated to doing. Yeah, I understand that. I get it. That's what I said when I did it. But I'm like, do you think it would ever get there is more my question. Do you ever think Trump would rule that out? And like I'm saying, I'm sure people wouldn't have a draft if, let's say, like Iran did something or attacked or you had to defend. But it's like, what are we going over there for? For regime change that's never going to happen? For what? Like, what are we doing? Tell me. It's craziness. Mars says, I said Trump should send his son in the draft. Doesn't matter. We are going to get oil. We are going to get oil from US. Mystery says, good night, Trent, and all the out louders and all the angels too. Goodbye, Mystery. They'll do a draft, maybe not for this war, but it's coming. Mystery says, prayers up for Kim. Get better soon. Kim, get well soon. Prayers up. Derek says, you know, this war could lead to World War III if rational heads don't prevail. Trump is leaving all options open so the enemies don't smell any weakness. Classic Trump. Okay, that's fair. Kim gave me permission to talk about it in the comment section. Wow. Thank you very much, Kim, for always being so open with us. Thank you, Crystal. Somebody says, hail the mustache man. Okay. Something here. I'm changing my surname to, okay, I'm not reading that. This Derek says, thank you, Trent. That's exactly my point at the funeral. Yeah, that's for sure. That's why I was like getting so irritated, because like we were both saying the same thing, but you're more just concentrating on Charlie Kirk. Like I don't think that should be done at any funeral. And if the son says that, anybody that says that, any family member that tells a guest, like, I don't care if you're a president of the United States. I don't care. You come into this service, you come into this funeral, you are a guest. I don't care who you are, whether you're Trump, Barack, Bill, or Biden, or Kamala. This is my family, and family trumps everything, no pun intended. But you're coming into this funeral service, you're going to speak, This is what you're allowed to say. This is what you're not going to say. And it seems to me from what he is saying that he feels offended. And I don't think that it's fair for us to tell him that he shouldn't be offended. Because if he feels like Barack Obama skated over it, and if he feels Bill touched on it a little bit more or whatever, you can't tell him that he cannot be offended because, like I admitted, even though it wouldn't offend me, Barack Obama knows how to play with his words. So he knows that saying every day we wake up in chaoticness, well, you know he's talking about Trump, right? You could even look on the headlines on the blog where it's like, yo, Barack Obama calls out Donald Trump for chaotic at Jesse Jackson's funeral. So if the blogs put that as the headline, and then Jesse Jackson's son comes out and says, yo, I told him not to do it, and he didn't say his name, but he insinuated it, then of course he was wrong, 100%. I don't care if it's Barack. I don't care who it is. The professor says, Kim, I hope you feel better. Mars says, I think we have to agree to disagree. I think his father's legacy was in Barack's speech, just my opinion. But yes, his son had a right to his opinion. Hold on, Mars. Hold on. You saying that we have to agree to disagree because that means that you disagree with me. We said, I think his father's legacy was in Barack's speech, 100%. But do you think that is right that he said we wake up every day in chaos? Because here, like I will, since we have a little bit of time, let me just do something here quickly. Because I think I even remember putting it in. I think I remember putting it in the show. Hold on. Here.
For so many others to follow.
Let's hear. This is.
He paved the road. For so many others to follow. Doug Wilder became the first elected black governor. Carol Moseley Braun went to the U.S. Senate. Because of Jesse, the Democratic Party changed its rules, ending the winner-take-all distribution of delegates during presidential primaries, which meant underdogs and outsiders like Bill Clinton or Bernie Sanders could stay competitive and build momentum instead of getting knocked out early. And it was because of that path that he had laid. Because of his courage, his audacity. And 2 decades later, a young black senator from Chicago's South Side.
Okay, see, that was the ending. Hold on. Let's end this debate right here. Hold on. Where is the beginning of Barack's speech? Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. Well, I think it was just Friday, right? Barack Obama, where you at, player? Hold on. I found the other one mighty quickly. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. 5 days ago. Oh, how come I was able to find it? Oh, you know what? I'll just search it. Obama, Jesse. Here we go. Okay, I'm sure. Here we go. All right, let's see. Hold on. See, I want to try to find a headline. See, look at this. Obama speaks about Trump administration at Reverend Jesse Jackson service.
We are living in a time when it can be hard to hope. Each day we wake up to some new assault on our democratic institutions. Another setback to the idea of the rule of law. An offense to common decency. Every day you wake up to things you just didn't think were possible.
Mars.
Each day we're told by those in high office to fear each other and to turn on each other, and that some Americans count more than others, and that some don't even count at all. Everywhere we see greed and bigotry being celebrated, and bullying and mockery.
Like the headline is Obama speaks about the Trump administration at Reverend Jesse Jackson's memorial service. If his son said, yo, don't speak about Trump, and you came and you indirectly spoke about Trump, I'm going to be mad too. You know what I mean? Like, and hey, that's up to Barack if Barack wants to do whatever he wants to do. But don't come to my father's funeral service and I tell you don't do that and you do that. I'm going to call you out the next day too. Let's see what y'all think about Obama singing is wrong for America to count more than others. I don't understand what that is. I think if I change my surname, oh gosh. Mara says, yes, I do think it was right for Barack to say we wake up every day into chaos because that's just true. Okay, well then that's fine. And do you think that is, Mars, do you think that it's okay for him to say, and it's true, even if his son says, don't bring up any tone like that. Don't bring up Trump. Don't bring up the fighting. Don't bring up the negativity. This is my father's memorial. It might be true, but I don't want that tone here. I don't want any negative tones. I don't want political division here. Even though it might be true, because these are my wishes, because this is my father. I know you loved him. This is my father. This is my house. This is my memorial. I respect you for being a president. I respect the relationship you have, but I don't want that here. I totally disagree with that. I agree with your opinion, and that's fine, but I would be very upset if he did that at my father's memorial. Insider says everything is always political. If you attend a funeral and you turn it into a political moment, there is definitely a problem, and you shouldn't be there to begin with. 100%. Like, that's why I said when Trump did that at Charlie's thing, I came right on this show and was like that's ridiculous. That's disgusting, because there's a lot of people who talk at Charlie Kirk's memorial and didn't say anything political. Trump went crazy with it. Agree, 100% correct. Family always first. Always, there is no other way. 100%. The end of my email has been a signature for years and years and years. Work like a soldier, all will be good, rich or poor. Family first, all will be good. Work like a soldier, whatever. I can't even remember what it is right now. But yeah, it's always family first, man. Family first, then work like a soldier, all will be good, rich or poor. That's my signature at family first, always. I don't care if you're a president of the United States. You think I care? This is my father. The professor says we have more chaos under Obama and Biden. Sorry, this is not the professor. That's Matt. Sorry. Trent, I don't agree with most of what you're saying, but you are a good host. Thank you very much. That is the biggest compliment ever. Like, I want to just bring you guys the facts. I want to bring you guys receipts. Of course, I got to put in my opinion. And I love if you guys don't agree with me, like Derek, but you still enjoy the show and think I'm a good host. Hey, that is the biggest compliment ever. I try for that each and every single day. So thank you. Derek says, I think the biggest loser could be JD Vance if the war keeps lingering on, which is why he has been usually quiet lately and not want to be seen on camera. The war would be divided, between JD and Rubio. Tez, hey, what up, Tez? Another good one. Trent, thank you. Mar says, oh my gosh, Trump tells us what he wants to do always. Then people say it's a ploy or a joke. It's not. It wasn't what he wants. Yeah, I hate when they do that too, Mars. I agree with you. All right. Oh, Derek says, I think the $200 barrel would only benefit the oil companies, but we all will feel it at the pump. This will be crazy. If Trump lets it get to that, that is crazy, man. $200 a barrel. Like, this will be nuts, guys. All right, let me just see if there's any other. If black votes for Republicans and if black vote for the Republican or demand that the Democrats do what benefits the black community in exchange for their votes. Israel doesn't want America based in the Middle East because after this war, they want to invade all their helpless neighbors and command their land. Barack, Clinton, and Biden embarrass themselves, period. I don't know if it's embarrassed. I just think it's a little disrespectful. Well, if for sure there was an agreement not to speak politics, then Barack was in the wrong. You see, that's why Mars is my homie, man. You just have to give Mars facts and she'll say, okay, these are the facts I'm presented with. And then she'll give you what is the facts. She'll give you the answer to the facts. Thank you. I know if I lay that out for you, Mars, I know you would see it. Now, that is providing what Derek and others are saying is true. Derek, we're putting it back onto you. If he did say that, and let me be fair, I'm not going to only put that on Derek. A lot of people in the chat said, his son said nothing political and nothing along those lines. So not just Derek, but a couple other people said that. Yeah, and if that's the case, you can't do that. You can't do that. Thank you, Mars. Love that about you. And you know, I'm the same way. Sometimes when I'm going off somewhere, you'd be like, yeah, but Trent, look this to that. And I'd be like, all right, I didn't know that. So love that. All right, JD Vance is too quiet. I think he's going to get ready to take over from Mr. DT. All right, guys, I want to end this right at 1:30. So we're right literally at that time. Thank you so much for kicking with me, Derek, Mars, Kim. I'm glad you're back. Everybody, thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Love y'all. I will see you tomorrow. Episode 700. Make sure you tune in. There's going to be some changes with the channel that I hope you guys love. I'm sure you guys will. Make sure you tune in. Do not forget to check out our quick entertainment news earlier from today and also breaking news from Rihanna that we posted yesterday. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for hanging with me. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Turn Out Loud. Peace.